Hello, family. Welcome to our 2026 podcast. We are so happy to be back with you. We've been gone for a little bit, kind of celebrating and taking the holiday into account. But so much has happened since we were here last with you. We are going to try to be short today because we could be here all week talking about all of the things that are happening. And here with me today, of course, is my co-worker, Pamela Hardin, who's president of the local NAACP. And so we both have been watching the activities that are going on. And so I know that we have to start by talking about Minnesota and what is happening in Minnesota. That is just part of what is going on. One of the things that I don't want us to lose sight of is that 2026 playbook that the Republican have in place. And that was in speaking about Epstein and all that is going on with his case, is that every week they were to have three major things to take the headlines away from that particular activity. And they have effectively done that. They've effectively done that. However, that's not going to be lost to us. It's coming back to us. Don't you think so, Pam?
I do. I do. I think that, they've been trying to cover up all of that with Epstein and all the things that Trump is doing now is just for self uplift and trying to gain financial gain and get our minds off of what's going on with Epstein.
Absolutely, and we're in some turbulent times right now. That killing in Minnesota yesterday. Uh, for the United States of America, you stop and say, "Am I really in the United States of America?" The country that has fought to make everybody a democracy, to make everybody free. People. My daddy was my husband's father. They were all in the World War. That really changed the world, and they had to leave their families and go away from us for a period of time. I remember that, the sadness in that, to go away from us, to fight for us to have the freedom that we have enjoyed all this time. And then we get one president that takes that and takes it and steps on it, and as if it means absolutely nothing.
Well, and a lot of that is because the Senate and the House, they don't have backbone
No.
enough to stand up and be men and do the job that they were
They're
elected
scared
to
to
do.
death. They're scared. They see, just like this person that was killed yesterday. They are scared to death. They of the physical things that can happen to them and their family. And when Nancy Pelosi was on there a couple of days ago, and she was talking about all of those threats that she's got. Marjorie Greene, who was a Republican, is on there and talking about all they got to get extra security, etc., for her and her family. With them talking about what they've done. And I want somebody, and I'm going to be calling on somebody to find out that this person that did this killing in Indianapolis, I want to know if he was one of the people pardoned from the January 6th pardons that Donald Trump did, because he did a multitude of releases, pardons, and I want to know if he is. It's like everybody is scared, but I was so proud of this minister this morning. I don't know if you all watched that. This minister talked about the what he saw and how they treated those people there in Minnesota, how they treated him. They arrested him. He is a minister, pastor with a church. They and put him in and put him in the van, and then asked him. They asked him outside the van, "Are you afraid?" And he told them before, "I'm not afraid." "Are you afraid now?" Put the handcuffs on and put him in the van, and kept him in the van and talking to him and with their guns and stuff. And then said, "Are you afraid now?" And he said, "I'm never going to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid. I refuse to be afraid." And so they kept him in there for a long, long time, handcuffs on in the van. So that was this morning. They let him out. But when they let him out, these are the words you'll see it. Well, it'll be all over TV all day long. And he said, they said, "Are you afraid now?" And he said, "No, I'm not afraid." And they said, "We're going to let you go because you're a white man anyway, so you won't be no fun for us to torture."
Okay, now I didn't get the opportunity
You gonna
to see
get it.
that, so
It's
I'm
all
gonna have
over.
to look at that. But it doesn't surprise me that that's the mentality, because the whole hiding behind the mask is is the Klan mentality.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't released this individual's name, of course,
Right.
and but I was looking at the video, and I watched all the other officers depart from this individual when he did this shooting. And they did that because they knew what he did was wrong, and they didn't know how it would pan out. Now, I'm sure they're in support of him because the administration is, but at that particular moment, they weren't sure. So they distanced themselves from him for that split second, so they could find out whether or not it would be acceptable or not. And that individual was on his own for that little short span, so they could find out. But that just showed the wrongness in what he did.
The wrongness of what he did.
And he was not injured. He walked there, he walked back, and then had the nerve to go to the hospital.
And how dare him say he was injured?
Went to the hospital.
We watched him walking very briskly back to his car and pulling his mask up to make sure that he was not recognized, supposedly. But all they've done with the ICE agency have taken the KKK and took the hoods off of them and put masks on them. That's all they've done. And so we have got to and I am so proud of the people, of the citizens of these United States who know how dangerous it is to be out there, who saw that woman get killed yesterday, but still was out there today. And this man was telling about this. They came out there today, shoving them, and he had this lady, the 72-year-old lady with him, and they start shoving her and pushing on her. And he said, "What are you guys doing? This is a 70-year-old woman that you were trying to push down here." And he said, then they left her alone, But those are the kinds of things that's happening. We see our country is so, is unrecognized. You can't recognize it.
No.
You just can't recognize it from a year ago. And one person can come in and make that kind of drastic difference.
Looks like a third world country.
We are just
military in the streets.
Yes.
And people are, and the thing about it is eventually people are going to take up arms.
That's it. Well, see, that's what they're begging them. That's what they're begging them not to do because Donald Trump has control of the military.
Exactly.
And so they are trying to, and the military not taking the orders of the president. They're not supposed to do unlawful things, but he's going to call it lawful. And who's going to say it's not lawful because he's got the judge in his hip pocket, And so, so we are at a very terrible place.
And I think the people in the military, they're going to have to. I know they have a job to do, but these are their family members. These are that's their community. These are people that they've grown up with and they live with, and they're asking them to turn and fight on them.
And to kill them.
Somebody's going to have to say, this is not something that I'm willing to do, because we're fighting each other. It's like fighting family.
Right.
And Donald Trump he doesn't care about that because his main focus is oil and money.
More oil and position. Power and position.
Right. He wants people to bow down.
That's it.
And he wants money and more money. He wants to be a king. And just like, and the most embarrassing thing is for him to ask to be a part of the Peace Prize. To ask if you would share.
The Venezuela vice president received the award,
and he asked if she would share it with him.
He wants her to share that.
About to beg for it,
and when he asked for it beforehand, and they refused to give it to him,
he's begging for it.
And now, how little can you be?
It's petty. It's sad.
It's sad, but we're in a terrible situation, and we are But one of the things that I believe that is going to happen, I believe that it's going to bring us together. But one of the things that they're trying to keep from happening and working so hard on in Minnesota, they said that Donald Trump wants to bring up the military. And so they are asking people, please don't do anything drastic enough to make him be justified in bringing up, because the courts won't let him right now. So don't do anything to justify to let him be able to. So hopefully I don't know how long they can keep that peace, but hopefully if they can hold on and find a way to work around it and all of that. But they're going to be out there, and they are out there this morning. I'm so proud of the Minnesota people, and I hope that people what we've got to do all over the country, we have got to start supporting them. We've got to start calling meetings to say that we are in support of Minnesota, and not just sit here and talk about it.
Right.
We have to show that we are in support.
Well, we're gonna have to be out in the streets and make some noise about it, because it was St. Paul yesterday.
It's gonna be Columbia tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's
and
right.
So we don't know where his intent is on moving next, but we know that he wants to take over every state he possibly can. And the only reason he hasn't really come to Missouri yet is because we don't have a Democratic governor.
That's it.
He's going to the states with the Democratic governors. And the thing about it is, until he starts touching those states with those Republican governors, and he's going to have to do that.
Yes.
Then that's going to make a big difference, because his own party is going to be affected.
They say that
you can't separate the wheat from the tare down here.
That's exactly right. And and that's what they were saying, that some of the ICE people that he is attacking now. This is some of these people in those red states. Those people voted for you. They voted for you now. And this one lady said, I voted for. But this one black guy this morning, which surprised me because he ain't on the Black Lives Matter thing, and he said, I voted for him 3 times. And he says, and now Donald Trump, you are the young black guy, and he said, but Donald Trump, he said, you are so wrong, to come in here into our town and to kill this woman. He said, this is a murder, and it's kill. And then this morning, yesterday, they said, the FBI said that they were going to work with the Minnesota police department this morning. They said absolutely not. That
it's pretty much closed for them.
They're going to do it just themselves. They're not going to allow them to be a part of it.
But they're going to do one on their own anyway.
They're going to do one on their own anyway. But they're not. They are not allowing them to talk to witnesses. They're saying they're going to find them if they're talking to witnesses and that sort of thing. So they're trying to keep them from doing their own investigation, but they can't stop everybody from doing their investigation, because Al Sharpton and all them out there, they're gonna get one of those reports. They're gonna do what they need to do. They're gonna get the information that they need to get. They can't keep. It's too big. You can't keep that hid. That child, like this woman said today. She said this mother should be taking her 6-year-old child to kindergarten today. But he is mourning his mother's death,
and doesn't have a father.
Father died in 23, and here he is an orphan for no good reason at all.
Because somebody tried to play God.
Yes,
trying to be bigger than what they are.
Well, we got our jobs cut out for us right here, right now. And Donald Trump is sending this SOS out as much as he can, telling all of his people, you all have got to, because the everything is showing that people are leaning toward the Democrats in 26, and he is saying to them, you all got to get out there and change that. You all got to get out and change it, because if they elect that they take the House, they're going to impeach me. So he is thinking about Donald Trump
Still.
So he's sending them all out there to do everything that they're big enough to do, and he's supporting them. He and these two women that he's got, which is just really irks me something terrible. The heads of his agencies, they out there being tough, being tough, and he is allowing that to happen. But we've got to stand up there and change things. We've got to make that change and let them know. And I'm so glad that the people in Minnesota didn't say that shooting went on, so we can't go back out there. They did. They were back out there this morning in force, and they're going to be out there all day long. Out there.
Well, just like they did with Floyd, they were out there, and it's going to take that same thing. This Absolutely. Is still, and it's going worldwide too, because everything is affecting everything. Everywhere. It's all this stuff with Venezuela and NATO
and spilling their oil,
and all this was being a thug.
That's it.
Being mafia mentality. I'm going to go and take, and I'm going to do it in the name of the United States. And these people are looking at us like, well, y'all elected him. Well, some of us didn't.
That's
right. And so he doesn't represent me. He represents himself when it comes to me.
But he's not going to win, because we know who he is, and we know who is going to win.
We know exactly who he is. And it's no good. And good always triumphs in the long run, but we've got to go through some things. We got to go through some things because we made that mistake.
That's it.
We had him in that position once.
That's it.
And we took him out. And then folks wanted the bad thing back.
They were.
It's like the love of money.
And the love of money, not only that, but they also, it was discrimination. Against people of color.
Exactly.
And
racism.
He promised them that the people of color, he was going to get out of this country
and put in their place.
And put in their placement with the people from the white countries, foreign countries. And that's what he promised. I mean, he promised that verbally. And so that's what he had told them was going to happen. And that's what he's trying to make happen.
And that's what they make the vote to make that happen.
That's what they thought was going to happen. But they didn't realize that they got daughters over here that's married to some of these people. They doctors and lawyers and psychologists and all those.
They grandbabies.
And they grandbabies. So now they got grandbabies and all those. They weren't thinking about how it was going to affect them directly and their families. But it's affecting everybody in their families. And so what they thought they were getting, and you're hearing people say now, this is not what I voted for. Because he said, we're going to get all the criminals out, and then we're going to bring these other people in. We're going to be just fine. No, that wasn't what he was doing. He was getting those criminals. Well, he was getting the reason why he pardoned all those people, because he knew what he was going to do, and he wanted those.
He's building an army.
He wanted those crooks out there in the street, the army. And
he's building an army.
What he did was replace the KKK with ICE.
But that was his intent. His intent was to build an army. That's why he had to get rid of all those generals.
That was it.
And all that. He has to get control of the military. He has control of the military. He doesn't have it exactly all the way he wants it, but he's working on it. But he's using ICE in the interim. And so he's the thing about it is now our governors are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to get control of the National Guard. And that's what's kind of going to hold things for a while. But if they lose control, that's why the governor of Minnesota was saying, please don't let him get put in martial law and all that, because that strips him of the power of being over his National Guard. But he needs to be over his National Guard. And then those National Guard people are going to have to make a decision, because it's their family. They're in their state. This is my people, or what am I going to do? So we've got there's some choices that are going to have to be made as well. But we all know that he's trying to build this army. We all know that all of this is about him making money. We all know that this is about Satan doing what he wants to do.
And let me tell you.
And so we need to call it what it is.
I know that we're spending a lot of time on this, and we're going to have to be spending a lot of time on this. We can't leave this, because we are losing our country. We're losing our country. And if we sit here and talk about the fact that we only got to talk about the good things that's going on, and not really zeroing in on what is really tearing our country apart. We have got to be together more than we have ever been together. Black, white, young, old, rich, and poor. And some of those people who are rich, they got family members. All those people, everybody is going to be affected. And so we are going to stand up. And I, personally, I love my country. I love my country. And my country has always been good to me, to my people. It hasn't always been good to my people. But it's the best. We had the best, even though it wasn't all that it should have been. It was the best that we had. And we have taken less than a year to tear all of that down.
And that's because we got all of these men that are in Congress and stuff, and women, but majority men, they don't have a backbone. Oh no, they gotta have a backbone. Oh no, Johnson doesn't have. Johnson allowed this. They don't have a backbone, and you have allowed this one man to come in and dictate who you are. I look at Rubio and all them. Yes. How embarrassing. Right. This man talked about your wife. Yeah. Called her out of her name. Called her an animal. Called you out of yours. You out of yours. Disrespected you. Little Rubio. Did all of that, and you talked about what all you were going to do, and the first chance you did was kiss his ring and lick his boots. That was it. And still licking his boots and kissing his ring. For your own self uplift. Right. And people, you think you're lifting yourself up, and everybody's laughing behind your back and looking at you like, look at this man. That's it. How little of you to not have a backbone to stand up that this man could degrade your wife, your family, and then you're gonna sit there and kiss his ring and lick his boots. It's sad. It's very sad. It is sad. Very sad. And so we've got a government. First off, it doesn't look like us anyway. It looks like a bunch of wealthy white men that want to play mafia. Yeah, and they want to live the thug life. They're murderers. They've been killing thieves. They've been killing folks out in the water on those ships. Now they're stealing oil, and then they want to call themselves a Christian or evangelicals, and killing people at home. So now people in the church have got to make a decision. That's it. Whose side are you on? Because God's not going to play that straddling. That's right. I'm with him today, but I'm not going to be with him tomorrow. I'm going to be with him all the way up till it's beneficial to me. That's one of the problems that I have. A lot of people are like, you got to feel sorry for her now. Yes, I feel sorry for Marjorie Taylor Greene now, but I also know that Marjorie Taylor Greene, as long as it didn't affect her at first, everything that's happening to her was happening to someone else. Nancy Pelosi and all that. Right. And she was going right along with it. And then when the guns was turned to her, all of a sudden it's like, I can't go outside. I'm not safe. I can't. This was happening to other people, and you were okay with it till it happened to you. So I have mixed reviews about Marjorie Taylor Greene. What goes around comes around, and it's not pretty on the other side. I give everybody the opportunity to make the mistake, but you have to pay for your mistakes. You have to pay for your mistakes. You have to pay for your mistakes. They don't just go away. So they don't just go away. So she's got to pay for people that don't trust her all the way. That you got to pay for that. Because she knew what they were going through. You knew exactly what was happening. You were sitting in those closed meetings. You knew exactly. You knew all about 2026. You know all about what was proposed, and what Donald Trump is doing is got that playbook, and he is working it. He's working it right down the line, and so people that think he's so dumb. He's so dumb. Well, he's smart enough to where he's dumb at. He knows where to put people around him that will do the things that he wants them to do. And that's one of the reasons why they were so eager to have him in that position in
And
the
to
first
get
place,
all of
because he would
those-
say what they wanted to say and didn't have enough
And
backbone
can't get
to
up
say.
there and talk without talking about how great our president is.
He can't
Everyone,
stop patting himself on the back. If my arm was as long as his arm must be a tail, because he can reach all the way down and pat himself from the back all the way up. And it's sad. No, and the sad part about it is you lifting yourself up, and these folks that you got making them lift you up, and nobody's lifting you up because you all that. You know, so
and they talked about him, you know, like at the New Year's Eve thing.
He's a joke.
Nobody really wanted to be there talking to him. You know, most people wanting to be around the president, showing him sitting there. Him and her.
Well, he's a joke.
You know, he is a joke. And then all
this stuff with the immigrants. Your wife is an immigrant
now, and your son is an immigrant.
And your son is an immigrant. Her family you brought over here, and you didn't bring them over here the right way.
No,
she didn't even come the right way. But y'all don't want to talk about that. You want to keep that out of the media. But if we're gonna start dealing with immigrants, you need to start in your own house. In your own house, because you've got a wife that didn't come here the right way. Or her family.
And then she had some dealing with Epstein too.
Big Epstein's probably how he met her.
That's what they said.
Probably how
they denied.
Yeah, of course they would.
Yeah, they denied, but they said
just like they denied that he denied he didn't know much about him. Then once that came out, he denied they were barely friends. And then once that came out, he denied they were friends, but he didn't know anything. Then once that came out, then it was like, okay, now there's pictures. So he's like, oh my goodness. So now we got to hide some stuff. Let's put these files up. Let's lock them up. Let's not let people thousands of files and you don't have any access to them.
But you let Bill Clinton's out.
Yeah. Oh, they quickly put that out.
They let Bill Clinton's out. But
they quickly put that out. They know they've got all this stuff on Trump. And they know that he was involved with those young girls.
Absolutely.
And so they're trying to cover it up. And one of these days he's gonna feel king enough to say, yeah, I did it. He will. He's gonna feel king enough to say, yeah, I did it. And ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Because I've got immunity from everything.
He got himself in a position where he got immunity.
And so with that being said,
and he got the military.
Exactly. But with that being said, our Supreme Court, every one of them needs to be kicked out. And if we ever get control, except for two, those two only. The rest of them need to be. As a matter of fact, if we ever regain House and the Senate, get rid of this president, they need to go to jail because they have been taking money, being paid when they weren't supposed to be paid. They have been reading the law and knowing they're interpreting it wrong and doing it anyway for the benefit of Donald Trump.
And the attorney, what's her name? I can't think of her name. I'm not going to mess it up today. But anyway, they was yesterday the judge. Yesterday or the day before, the judge says, "Why are you still calling yourself an attorney general when we have told you that you were not legally appointed to that position? You couldn't be, you know, that you were just named, that you can't hold that position. So you get that off of your cards, your business cards." And so that was a couple of days ago. So I'm waiting to see what happened with that.
Well, see, and that's the thing. They defy whatever they want to defy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he said you defied me, and you're not going to do it. That's what.
And what they need to do is start throwing people in jail, just like those ICE agents. They should have grabbed them up and threw them in jail when that happened.
He should have been
immediately.
Taken.
That officer should have immediately been taken. And now they might have did an investigation after that. But I guarantee if I'd have shot somebody in the street, they wouldn't have told me, well, you walk around and let me decide what we're going to do with you. I'd have been in jail.
You'd have been in jail
until they found out. He should have been in jail immediately. And the police officers there in Minnesota should have arrested him. They should have arrested him, but they'd
probably killed them if they would have got.
I don't know. Those other ones ran like they took their tails and went the other way.
But I'm just saying, you know, they did. They took their tails.
They went the other way.
I don't know what would have happened
because they didn't know. See, that's the whole thing. At that point, they didn't know.
What to do.
And they didn't know where they were going to stand.
They didn't know
Trump
and those people. They should have known he was going to stand with them.
Yeah, but they didn't know if there was something out there that might be somebody took a video that somebody could have been on the other side, and they said, "Oh, he hit him," and they standing right there and say, "See, there's 3 foot." They didn't know that. They went and hid till they saw where they were going to stand, and he was alone at that moment.
Yeah, they were always going to stand with him, but if they weren't going to say
where it was at. Right?
They may not say nothing, but they were all going to stand with him. But anyway,
and he's a murderer.
He's a murderer,
and
needs to be arrested.
And we may not put him in jail, but God got a lockup for him
now. For real.
God got a lockup for him, so he might have thought he got away. He might have thought he got away, but he didn't get away.
I believe you're gonna do some of that service time down here where we can see those people that do those dirty things in the dark. That he allows it to come to light for us. You know.
Well, it's almost like in the Bible where they wanted a king.
Yes, and he told them, "Nope, you don't need one."
And they died to have a king.
So you let them have a king.
And then it was what? Chaos.
That's what happened with Donald Trump.
And what do we have now? Chaos. We had Donald Trump. Got rid of him. They died to have him back. And what we had? Chaos. So we everything in the Bible explains. And so for those evangelicals that are reading the Bible, they need to read the Bible right, because it's self-explanatory. Everything in there is explaining what we're going through right now. And anybody that doesn't want to believe it, live long enough, you're going to see.
And I'd like to say to our audience out there, I hope that you will watch this video and really take into consideration those things that we're talking about, because this is affecting not just me, not just her. This is affecting us and our country, and how our country will move forward in the future. If we allow this to be our Constitution to be destroyed, disrespected, torn down, we will be just like those other countries. The only reason why we talk about our safety, we had Canada up on that end that had our backs.
We had all done with us.
All this, and they don't even do trade with us now.
No, they are done. What would you think?
And then we had the ocean separating us and that sort of thing. And we had people, NATO who had our back. That's why, because yes, we were the strongest, but we were standing by. Not just by ourselves could we be the strongest.
Exactly.
Than all of these other nations.
We were respected.
You were respected.
And we were respected because we were doing the right thing.
Yes.
First off, this country was founded and created on getting away from kings.
Yes.
And so then after all this, one man comes, one man that's not very intelligent,
and not very
anybody that said somebody that says he's not very intelligent. He has people around him that he's a thug and he's scary. He ain't intelligent. You don't have to be intelligent to be a thug.
That's right.
And so he's got people around him that will do the dirty work and tell him this is what we did and this is what we did, and then he's playing toy soldier, sitting there watching and grinning while people are dying. And this is impressing him, but we got away from a king, and then he decided he wanted to be a king. And so now we've got to go through some things, but we are going to have to get out in the street.
Yeah, but
Morning Joe, to fight that.
Morning Joe said this morning, was talking about Trump, and that when he got ready to go to Venezuela to do what he did, he said, okay, to arrest that guy. I mean, it didn't need to be, but if he did, that would not have been illegal if he was there to help the people that were there. But that he was never there to help the people.
They're still all
that right there. That's what he said. He was there to steal their oil, to take their oil.
And then at the nervous
and then go.
It's gonna be in their best interest.
It's gonna be in their best interest
that I steal from them.
And he was saying that Joe was saying that that we got to stand up. We have got. He said that he said this morning. He said he should have had, if he hadn't gotten rid of all of those generals and those people who honestly believed in the United States. You know, who could have said, Mr. President, that's not
a good idea.
That's not a good idea, because they said, you know, he go with the last person that came in. He said, Mr. President, that's not a good idea. Why can't we do it this way, and this way, you know? And he said, and he should have had those people there.
He didn't want that.
He didn't want that. He wanted nothing but some dummies like head staff and all.
He showed his colors in his first presidency when he went to NATO and pushed all those people behind him and stood up front in the middle.
Sure did.
He showed his colors. That was embarrassing.
That was embarrassing to me.
And he showed his colors. And that is how he has tried to, like he was. And so that is what he, and then
asking for the Pulitzer Prize, asking for people, and then put his name on, and I am so glad that those people on the Kennedy Center, they canceled all New Year's Eve, and they've canceled, now they've gone canceling through, and he's talking about suing them, and they say, sue us.
Right.
We're not doing it. So they don't have nothing scheduled for
him to uplift his name.
For him to uplift his name.
And so he got his name on a building that ain't doing nothing.
And they say they're not going to that name come off.
I don't blame them. But, and see, that's a stand. But see, that's the whole thing. We were a country that people wanted to come to, that people loved.
Why
and we
went
from a place that now people are saying that, and they're not looking at just Trump, they're looking at y'all voted for him.
That's it.
They're trying to figure it out.
They did.
I was going to say y'all did, but because I did. They were saying, y'all voted for him. This is what y'all wanted. So we could sit all day and say, no, that's not what we want. Y'all voted for him.
You voted for him. You can't, don't lie, because you did.
You voted for him. And so he's in there. And so now he has went and just destroyed the relationship. We will never regain that relationship and that trust.
Absolutely.
Because they'll say, what if somebody else gets in? Look what they did.
Well, just like
we thought they were smarter than that.
Yeah, just like Putin and Ukraine. He's not doing nothing that we're not doing. He's trying to take over Ukraine territory.
Like we're talking about Greenland.
And we're talking about Greenland.
And he just look up and say, oh, that's an island. It's
and
big,
I can
it's
build
pretty.
My casino.
And I can build me a resort and a golf. I want that.
Yes.
We need that, because I want it.
And then he, as the president, can accept a multi-million-dollar airplane.
It's sad.
That goes with him when he goes out of office.
It's sad. But once again, you got 9 Supreme Court justices.
And the Congress and the Senate.
And they allowed that to happen.
They allowed that to happen.
And so, backbone. It's sad.
That's it.
It's sad. And we could talk and talk and talk and talk. Trump is going to be Trump. Trump is a thug.
He's not going to change.
He wants to be a thug. He wants to be that mafia mentality. He wants people to fear him. He wants people to bow down to him. And he is going to do everything in his power to stay in that position. So what we've got to do now is we've got to make sure that we get these elections.
Have an election.
Right, that we get these elections and that we have them and that we have our people there to make sure that they don't have these ICE agent people there scaring people off and keeping these elections from going into play. He wants to get control of the individuals that do the final vote in state to state.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the 50 the
electoral college. That's what he wants to get control of, because we could be all day fighting, and if those people
voted
vote in his favor, then we did all of that in vain. And so that's what he's going to try to do. He has an agenda, and his agenda is to get control of the military, to scare people into voting for him if we have an election. And if he cannot scare enough people to vote for him, that he thinks that he intends to not have an election, because he told them, if y'all put me in office, you don't ever have to worry about voting again. Is that what he said?
He did.
And then he said he's been doing.
Last week, he's been telling them all week long. It's been up everywhere all week long. If we lose the midterm, they're gonna impeach me.
He puts that in the head,
and he said, they said that he had immunity, but that ain't gonna stand.
Right.
That ain't
well, you know what he's gonna do. And I'm looking out there at all the people that are watching this. And if you are watching it, share it with your friends. I hope and I pray that we are not going to be so petty as to be bought by a $2,000 check with his name on it.
For real, that won't even pay your taxes.
A $3,000 check, because most of the people that got their $2,000 January 30th or whenever they got it, it was gone by February 15th.
Are you talking about that? No, and the ones that got did some of them get 2,000?
Well, the $2,000 had the name on it, then the $600. Whether it was $600, $500, $100, $3,000, whatever it is.
$600 won't pay you nothing.
Because what he said he was going to do was try to issue out some checks. Mm-hmm. Why did he do that? Because first off, and for our Black American black males, please don't stoop that low, because he really played us short. Mm-hmm. When he was like, I know they gonna take it, and they gonna vote for me. They
haven't got no money, so they just
right. Glad to get Let's it. Not be bought. Let's be men if we gonna be a man.
You got $2,000, you haven't given you nothing.
No, first off, they're gonna tax it and take half of it back.
That's it.
So you don't have anything. So let's not be bought. That's the first thing. That's his plan. When this election gets close, watch and see how fast he's going to start talking about kicking out some money.
He's already talking about
kicking it out. And so we need to say, that's not going to buy my vote. That's not going to buy. And am I telling you not to take it? I'm not telling you not to take it. But I'm telling you, when you get behind that curtain,
pull that
right lever. Whether you got $2,000 or not.
And you know what? We can sit here and we got enough to talk about. We got local things to talk about, but we got time to do that. There's nothing more important than what we're talking about right now, and so we can't do it all today. But we are so happy to be able to bring you our perspective. We hope that we have said something here that will, get your mind to thinking, and that you will be a part. Everybody needs to be a part of what we're doing. We need our community to come together. So it is up to us to pull our community together, because all politics is local. Pull our community together and to say that we stand united with Minnesota and with those other areas that are fighting for the rights of people. So
if you don't know how to pull your community together, you think that is hard, go out there and tell people, what about your health care? Because it's gone
up. Gone.
Talk to them about it. What about the taxes that you're doing? What about your housing? What about when you go and buy some eggs at the store? Gasoline. Go talk to them about that. If you think that it's hard to pull people in for town halls and for meetings or for gatherings, talk to them about that, and you can get them at the table, because it's affecting everyone.
And then talk to them about the fact that their mothers who has grown old, and the nursing, needing skilled nursing.
All of
care. That's been swiped away. And that it is devastating to some people.
Well, what kills me with him with that is that he has no respect or regard for elderly people.
No.
And he's old.
That's it.
Okay? He's old. And so
almost 80 years old.
Exactly. So I don't know where his mindset is.
That's why he painted his hair pink.
Whatever color he painted ain't gonna help him. That was a personal thought, so I'll let that go. But he knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
And it's not beneficial to us, and we need to let our community know that it's affecting not just us, it's affecting everyone, because he thought what he was doing was going to affect a certain group of people. It's affecting everyone, from the farmers in the rural areas to the people in the city.
Who he supported.
No, he doesn't.
As long as he got what he needed.
Right.
He doesn't care he doesn't care who he hurts.
And we need to quit falling for the false narrative, and we need to watch that AI. Yes. We need to watch, because they're able to make or do anything look a certain way.
That's it.
We are not. Let's not let somebody play us for dumb.
Oh yeah,
that's what
we
have
to watch everything. That they can take these pictures and things and make us believe any kind of thing. And I was talking about my sister, who was very attractive when she was young, but she's 2 or 3 years younger than me now. And so here they have this head on her of her old self, and then all of this shapy body down here and this swimsuit stuff up there. She's looking good. Somebody look on there and they say, uh-oh, this is this person, with their name on there. And the thing that they have done whatever it is that they can do with those machines to make you look any way they want you to look. And so we have to be just careful of all kinds of tricks and things that they are doing as far as putting people out there.
Well, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
And so we have to be careful. And then we have to stop letting people. Now, this really bothers me, just like with this last incident in Minnesota. Who am I going to believe? You or my lying eyes?
Now.
Because I'm sitting there looking at what has happened. And then you get on TV and tell me that what I saw wasn't what I saw, and what really happened is what you're telling me.
That's exactly
and that I'm supposed to believe what you're telling me because what I saw was not really what I saw. Well, I choose to believe God gifted me with eyes, and He gave them to me to see. And I choose to believe what I see with the eyes that God gave to me, and not through your eyes.
That's it.
And so we have to stop letting them give us a story through their eyes.
And see the people, now we got the camera and the people are taking pictures all kinds of ways. They're taking pictures. And we see those. And that's what I said. You're going to believe me them or your lying eyes, My eyes, what I see. And then I make a judgment. My brain makes a judgment, work with my eyes to make sure that what I saw was correct. And so we have to believe. I don't care what they say to me. I sat there and looked at it all in real time. And so nobody else can tell me what happened.
Right.
I was watching it.
And want to tell folks, if you don't have a phone, get one.
That's it.
Carry your phone everywhere you go.
That's it.
And when you see a situation, start filming. Take a picture. To record it. Do whatever you have to do. Because unless you have that kind of information, they're going to twist it and turn it and all that. That is why they have a hard time. And a lot of times the police say, put your camera down, put your film down, because they don't want you to see. You keep filming because you have a right to film. So wherever you are, whatever you do, carry your camera, carry your phone, and film. And so that's what we're going to leave with you today, because I know we're running out of time. But please remember that wherever you go, carry your phone. You never know when you're going to need it and what's going to happen. Not nowadays.
That's it.
So we need to be prepared in all areas of life. And that's part of it, is having our phone that's telling the real truth of what's going on.
That's it. And so today has been hopefully an informative day for you. And we thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And Pam has something else that she wants to add.
Before we leave, we are coming up on Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, absolutely.
And I want to remind everyone in Columbia, I want to remind you wherever you are, please go out and celebrate. That is a holiday. It's not a day to lay at home. It's a day to uplift a man that worked really hard to try to make life better for everyone in times like this. And so please go out and celebrate MLK Day. But here in Columbia, Missouri, we are having our annual Martin Luther King Day program. We will be at the Martin Luther King site that we're very proud of. And we will be there for about 15 minutes.
Stadium.
And it's off of Stadium. And then we will be motorcading to Second Baptist Church, where we will have our main program and a free luncheon for those in attendance. So we want you to come on out and be a part of that celebration. There are other celebrations that will be taking place during that weekend. We do want you to participate in those programs, but we want you to look and see what's going on in your community and take part in it, and take your young people so that they can see. They need to know the real history of what's going on in your community. So we encourage you to do that. And then we also want to say that we have upcoming our Black History Month that's coming up, and we want everyone to be involved in participating in programs during that month so that we can recognize African Americans and some of the great things that we have contributed to this country. Even though this country may not have loved us like we wanted it to, a lot of us have loved this country, and so we need to be celebrated for the assets that we have contributed to make this country the great country that it is.
Absolutely. And we look to see you at that Martin Luther King program on the 19th.
On the 19th.
On the 19th at Second Missionary Baptist Church. And we want to have, we should, with all this going on, we should have the largest turnout ever, because it was Dr. Martin Luther King who led this country during those most turbulent times and gave his life, as we have to be willing to do, to make this country a better country. And he did make it a better country, even though we've seen things fall back. He worked it, and we just got to get out there and work it again. Okay.
And if you'd like to contact us, you can reach us at truthofthematteris1@gmail.com. That's truthofthematteris1@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Please email us. Let us know if there's topics you want us to touch on. Ask us any questions that you might want to ask us, and we'll do our best, if we don't know the answer, to find that out, and if we do, to answer that question for you. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast, and we hope to see you at our next podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth of the matter is.